Hey everybody, so this video is going to cover me graphing parabolas. These are going to look a little bit different. We're used to y equals x squared. These are going to have a x equals y squared format. So the first two I'm going to be covering are going to be in our vertex form already. So if we take a look over here, I wrote these on the wall so you can see them on the wall here. Let's take a look. So parentheses around y squared and y. So you can see it's going to be x equals parentheses ay squared plus by plus c. So I did change around where you see like b and a because this is where I took out the a to be different b. Anyways, this should be a little bit more clear on the wall now. But we're gonna do our first, but we actually don't even have to do a first step because it's already here. Right now we're already in vertex form. So if I take a look at this right here, we're actually gonna go all the way down to step number 6. So essentially 1 through 5 has already been done. So we're going to go to number 6. So we're going to be in our vertex form, which is x is equal to a parentheses y minus k squared plus h. X equals a y minus k squared plus h. A is equal to 2. K is equal to 4. Notice how there's a minus 4 right here and a minus 4 right here. What that means is that all of this right here, it's just the 4. There's not a negative 4. Because if it was a plus K over here, if it was like a plus 4, that would be y minus negative 4, which is equal to y plus 4. Anyways, our K is 4. Okay. And our h is negative 2. See how right here it's a positive 2? Right here is a negative 2. This is actually going to change it to be our h to be a negative 2. Okay. Axis of symmetry, I'll put AOS for short, is going to be y is equal to k. So when y is equal to 4, our vertex is equal to negative 2 comma 4. Okay. So negative 2, 4. And then our axis of symmetry is right here. Remember, at all points, our y is going to be equal to 4. So whether our x is 4 or x is 6, everything, our y is always equal to 4. Okay, so that sets us up for step number 6. Now let's take a look at step number 7. Take two values of y. You could do above or below. And as we discussed in class, if you choose above or below, you're going to get the same x values. It's just now you're going to put them above instead of below or put them below instead of above. So you essentially flip it. And then we're going to find your corresponding x values. You'll plot your points on the graph, reflected on the other side of the axis of symmetry. Okay, great. So I'm going to choose below. You could choose either way. So what I mean by below means here's 4. The number below is y is equal to 3. The number below that is y is equal to 2. So I'm going to take these y's and then be able to find where my x is. So I don't know if it's going to end up over here, where it's going to end. And it's going to be somewhere on this y is equal to 3 line. I need to figure out where my x is. Same over here. I need to figure out where along this y equal to 2 or the y equals 3 line is. Okay. You could go above. You would actually get the same values for when y is equal to 3. You get the same x values for y is equal to 5. When it's y is equal to 2, you get the same y values for y is equal to 6. It's not always y is equal to 4. It's just for this specific equation. Okay. Okay, so let's do a chart x and y. Like I already said, the y's I'm choosing are 3 and 2. Okay, in order to find the x values, I need to put this equation into here. So it's going to be x is equal to 2. I'm going to replace my y right here with my 3 right here. 3 minus 4 squared minus 2. And at this point, you can just put in your calculator. You can use either calculator. Just make sure you keep track of your squares and your subtractions. I had this earlier. I didn't have it written down, so I'm going to put my calculator real quick. 3 minus 4. Okay. And this gives me 0. So my first point is 0, 3. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing, but instead of a 3 right here, I'm going to replace my y with a 2. So it's going to be x equals 2, 2 minus 4 squared minus 2, 2 parentheses 2 minus 4 squared minus 2, and that gives us 6. So 0, 3 and 6, 2. So 0, 3, so 0, 3 right here. And then 6, 2, which is right here. Okay? And then to finish this up, we reflect it across the y-axis. So if this, we reflect it across the axis of symmetry. So see how this one goes down 1 right here? I'm going to do the opposite and go up by 1. This one goes down by 2. So I'm going to do the opposite and reflect and go up by 2. If I would have found my points for 5, my x would be, y is equal to 5, my x would be 0. If I would have found the points for my y is equal to 6, my value would have been 6. So regardless, no matter if you chose going above or below, you would reflect to get all the points regardless. And then because it is a positive A, it means it's opening to the right this way, okay? All right. Let's take a look. So right here, same thing. X is equal to A, y minus k squared minus 2. A is equal to negative 1. K is equal to 4. Oh, sorry, this is plus h. But my h is equal to negative 2. Put the negative 2 in the wrong spot. So you can actually see above, it's very similar to what we did right here. H and K are the same. The only differences are A. You can see how A is positive here. It's going to the right. If we know where A is negative, it's going to be pointed towards the left. Okay, so same thing, 2, comma. So my vertex is negative 2, 4. Okay. And then my axis of symmetry is equal to, when y is equal to k, so y is equal to 4. Same thing as before. I know my y's. So before I went down, so this time I'll go up. It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to choose my 5 and my 6. So remember, before I went down by 1, if I went up, we have y is equal to 5. Went up 1 more, y is equal to 6. That's how I get those values. If your axis of symmetry is different, those values are going to be different. Okay, so to find the value right here, it's going to be x is equal to negative. I replace my y right here in this equation up here with my 5 right here. So it's going to be 5 minus 4 squared minus 2. And we'll just go ahead and write this one down right here. X is equal to negative 6 minus 4 squared minus 2. Just a quick reminder, this equation comes from on top. I didn't just randomly make it up. I got my y values from here, so I just took my equation from above and inserted my y values. So let's go ahead and take a look. So negative 5 minus 4 squared minus 2, and that gives me negative 3. And then my next one's going to be negative parentheses 6 minus 4 squared minus 2. That gives me negative 6. So I'm going to be at, my x is negative 3 and my y is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then my next one is going to be at negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's going to be at a positive 6. So now I just reflect across the y-axis, the axis of symmetry. So this is on the axis of symmetry, can't do anything. This is 1 up, so I go 1 below right here. This is 2 up, so I go 2 below right here. Erase my little lines. Okay, connect. So remember, like I said before, the arrows are pointed towards the left, towards negative. Our A is -1. When our A is positive, they're going towards the positive x-axis, which is towards the right. Okay, so remember, those were our steps for 6 and 7. We were already at the step that we already had our vertex form. So now we're going to do everything steps 1 through 5. Whew, what a doozy. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start here. It says step number 1, put parentheses around y squared and y. So we have x equals a y squared plus by plus c. So x is equal to parentheses 3y squared minus 30y plus 70. This is going to be my A. This is going to be my B. This is going to be my C. Keep the B, your original B. It's going to be important for later. I know I kind of mentioned B before being already inside of the parentheses when we took out the A. But for sake of simplicity and not getting confused, just start off with this being your B. Okay. So divide the number, the coefficient in front of y squared from y squared and y. This is your A. You're going to put your A in front of the parentheses, and it's going to equal x equals A parentheses A divided by A y squared plus B divided by A y squared plus C. Okay? So number 2, x is equal to 3 parentheses 3 divided by 3 y squared minus 30 divided by 3 y plus 70. We don't change our C. Don't worry about it for now. So I'm just going to simplify. X is equal to 3 parentheses y squared minus 30 divided by 3 is 10. 10y plus 70. At this point, this negative 10 is equal to b divided by a. Keep that in mind for later, okay? Okay, that's step number 2. Step number 3, add a box inside the parentheses and subtract a times blank box at the end of the equation. So we'll do one step at a time. We'll add a box inside of the parentheses. Okay, there's the blank box. And then plus 70, keep that the same. And the next step says subtract a times the blank box. Subtract a, which is 3, times whatever goes in the box. Okay? That completes step number 3. Step number 4 is you're going to find the number that goes in the blank. You're going to use a coefficient of y. So this is your current coefficient of y. So the coefficient is the number in front of your variable, which is y. And if you take a look here, you could just do this b divided by a, which you already found is negative 10 right here. Or you could just see a negative 10 in front of y right now, okay? So I'm going to do the second one where it says coefficient of y divided by 2 squared. So I'm going to do negative 10 divided by 2 squared. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. And negative 5 squared is negative 5 times negative 5, which is a positive 25. So now it says replace, it says, now we can go ahead and place this number in the box. I put that to the right of there. So now your equation is going to look something like this. X equals a parentheses y squared plus your coefficient for y, which is b divided by a, and then our box. If it's a positive number, it's a plus. If it's a negative number, it's a minus. Plus c minus a times the box. So it's going to be x equals y squared minus 10y. And this is a positive 25, so I'm going to put a plus 70 minus 3 times a positive 25. Okay. So that completes step number 4. Step number 5, we're going to turn our parentheses into a perfect square binomial. We're going to place our parentheses, which is our y squared plus sorry, this one's not going to be negative. Y squared minus 10y plus 25. And we're going to place it with our coefficient divided by 2. It's whether it's a positive or negative, it depends on this plus or minus. So it's not automatically plus or minus. Just keep in mind it'd be y plus a number squared or y minus a number squared. And that's our perfect square binomial. Okay? So this was that was number 4, the number to go in the blank. So this would be right here. Step number 4, step number 5. So you can see that my coefficient, got my A. Okay. Out of control, guys. I forgot my A. Okay. So my coefficient of y is equal to negative 10. How do I know this? My number right here in front of y is negative 10. Okay, so right here it says it's going to be y plus or minus the coefficient divided by 2. Plus or minus just based on the value. So it's going to be x equals 3, y. This is a negative coefficient, so it's going to be a negative number. 10 divided by 2 squared. And then we'll keep our constants to the side for now. Okay. 10 divided by 2 is 5, so it's going to equal to x is equal to 3, y minus 5 squared plus 70 minus 3 times 25. Okay, just a reminder that it says and right here for step 5, so and we're going to simplify the constants. I just kind of have it separate so it doesn't get too overwhelming. And then so it's going to be 70 minus right here. 70 minus 3 times 25 is equal to 70 minus 75, which is equal to negative 5. So I can rewrite the whole thing with at the end being negative 5. So x is equal to 3, y minus 5 squared minus 5. So that means my A, let's go to the next step. We'll talk about it. So determine A, H, and K, find vertex axis of symmetry. Okay. So step number 6, x is equal to 3, y minus 5 squared minus 5. So my A is equal to 3, my K is equal to 5, my H is equal to negative 5. Remember, this is your K, this is your A, this is your H. In your vertex form, it's y minus k. So if you see a minus k, that means your k has a positive value, okay? So it means my vertex is equal to negative 5, and my axis of symmetry is when y is equal to k, so y is equal to 5. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the graph, negative 5, 5. So it's going to be negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And at this point, I'm going to add my axis of symmetry, y is equal to 5. I can choose 2 points above or 2 points below. It really doesn't matter. Make sure you use this equation up here. So this is going to be number 7. X is equal to 3, y minus 5 squared minus 5. So if I go 2 above, it's y is equal to 6, y is equal to 7, or I could choose 2 below. Y is equal to 4, and y is equal to 3. I'm going to choose below this time just because I feel like I have more room and it looks less scary. Okay, so y is equal to 4. And 3. We don't know the x values. So this x is going to be 3 times 4 minus 5 squared minus 5. X is equal to 3 times 3 minus 5 squared minus 5. All I did is replace my original vertex form with the values of the y. Now I'm going to find the values of x. So 3 parentheses 4 minus 5 squared minus 5 gives me a negative 2. 3 parentheses 3 minus 5 squared minus 5 gives me a 7. So I'm going to plot a point at negative 2, 4, negative 2, 4. And then I'm going to plot my other point at 7, 3. Oops. I don't need to know about the update for Windows. 7, 3. And then I'm going to also reflect it on the other side. It should look something like this. Okay. That was number 7. Let's take a look at number 8. So number 8, let's take a look at step number 1. We're starting all over. We're in our form that's not the vertex form. So we're going to add our parentheses around y and y squared. That's number 1. So x is equal to parentheses negative y squared minus 8y minus 12. Just for the sake of everything right now, a is equal to negative 1, b is equal to negative 8, c is equal to negative 12. So it'll be easier because we have negative 1, so it's easier to divide out. So step number 2, I'm going to take my equation, bring it out the a to the front, and divide my a into both the coefficients for y squared and y. So negative 1 divided by negative 1, y squared, minus 8 over negative 1, y, minus 12. X is equal to negative 1. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1, so just y squared. Okay. Negative 8 divided by 1 is a positive 8, so positive 8y minus 12. Okay, so that was step number 2. Step number 3 is we're going to add a box inside the parentheses and subtract a times the blank box at the end of the equation. Okay, so that was 2. Step number 3, x equals negative 1 parentheses y squared plus 8y, add our box, minus 12. We're going to subtract a, negative 1, times the box. Okay, so that's step number 3. Step number 4 is to find the value inside of the box. Right now, my current coefficient in front of y is 8. Also, if I take my original b, negative 8 divided by negative 1, I also get an 8. So regardless, we know this number is going to be an 8. I just left for step number 4, b divided by a divided by 2, just in case you didn't remember how you got that number. So I'm going to do the second part where it says or, parentheses, coefficient of y divided by 2 squared. So I'm going to take that coefficient, which is 8. It's be 8 divided by 2 squared, which is equal to 4 squared, which is equal to 16. So it's going to be x. So now I just replace this into my boxes. That's my box number. Is equal to negative 1 parentheses y squared plus 8y. And this is going to be a positive 16 minus 12 minus our a, which is negative 1, times our box, which is 16. Okay, that's step number 4. So for step number 5, we're going to turn a parentheses into a perfect square binomial. So in those parentheses, it has the y squared plus b over ay, and then whatever we found for the box. and you're going to replace it with, and I'm going to do the second one, this coefficient of y divided by 2. And this plus or minus, once again, it only depends if it's a positive or a negative value. So this is step number 5. Okay, so it's going to be x equals, keep our negative a at the top, so y, and then it's going to be plus or minus, which it's going to be plus because we have a positive b, and it's going to be, we have a positive coefficient. So our current coefficient is, let me do a different color, is 8, current coefficient. Eight divided by 2 gives me a 4. So it's going to be y plus 4 squared. Going back to here, for step number 5, where you can see y plus or minus, it was a positive number because 8 divided by 4 is a positive, 8 divided by 2 is a positive 4, so y plus 4. And then we have our parentheses in there and square it. And that's exactly what I have right there. And then we keep I'll just keep it for now, but it's going to be our negative c, so negative 12 minus our a times our box number. And then now the second step right here says simplify the constants. It's c minus a times the box. Okay, so we're going to do that c minus a times the box, which is right here. Get a different color so it stands out. We'll do pink. So it's going to be this right here, okay? So negative 12 minus parentheses, negative 1 times, that should say 16. I don't know what happened. Oops. Times 16. Negative 1 times 16 is going to give us a negative 16. You could just put this in your calculator, or you can know a negative times a negative is a positive, so it'd be negative 12 plus 16. Regardless, you should still get 4. So you can replace this whole pink part right here with the number 4. So this is still part of number 5. We're just simplifying. X is equal to negative 1, parentheses, y plus 4 squared plus 4. The reason why it's a plus 4 is it is a positive number. Okay, so this is it for number 5. We did all the hard part. Step number 6, determine A, H, and K. So A is equal to negative 1, which means the arrow is going to be opening to the left. We can see how it is a y plus 4. So it's actually y minus negative k. So that means that my k is actually negative. So my k is equal to a negative 4. And then our plus 4s are h, so h is equal to a positive 4. So that means we're going to start off at 4, comma, negative 4 is our vertex. And then our axis of symmetry is equal to y is equal to negative 4. Okay, so 4, negative 4. This is my axis of symmetry. Like I said before, you can choose 2 dots below or above. So we're in the negative, so I could choose 2 above. So y is equal to negative 3, y is equal to negative 2. So let's start off with negative 3 and negative 2. So we have this is number 7, or step number 7. Okay, so if my y is negative 3, put in this equation up here. So x is equal to, it's going to be for this one, negative 1, parentheses, negative 3 plus 4 squared plus 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this in my calculator. Like I said before, it doesn't matter if you use the blue calculator or the graphing calculator, it's going to give you value for your x. So it's going to be negative 1 parentheses, negative 3 plus 4 and parentheses squared plus 4, and that gives me a 3. Oop, equals 3. So 3. So at 3, negative 3. So 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 3. 1, 2, 3. I can already know it's going to reflect on the other side, so I can go ahead and do that right now. And then I'm going to find my other point. So when y is equal to negative 2, I got to figure out what my x is. So x is equal to negative 1, and then replace my original y in my vertex form formula with a negative 2. Okay, so it's going to be negative 1 parentheses negative 2 plus 4 and parentheses squared plus 4. And that gives me 0. So it's going to be at 0, negative 2 right here. And I'm going to reflect 2 down. 1, 2. It goes up, so it means 2 down. 1, 2. If you would have chosen y is equal to negative 5, you would have gotten 3 as your x. If you would have chosen y is equal to negative 6, you would have gotten 0 for your x as well. So remember, it doesn't matter if you choose top or bottom, it's going to give you the same values. Okay, and you just kind of continue the pattern. And that covers graphing our parabolas for conic sections when it's x is equal to y squared.